It's really important to have the mental strength in motorbike riding.
People think, oh, you just turn up and you ride a motorbike around in circles.
I think I've got a big advantage on riding my bike, the same for the last 3 years.
I think if we can beat Carl and Glenn, then we're going to be very close to the top.
The Yam seems to love it. The sooner I can get off that brake and on the throttle, the bike turns better. So it's just a match made in heaven, really.
I race bikes because my dad started doing it in 2015 when I was about 11. I went to one of his first race weekends at Bennetts. From then really, once I started watching him, I just sort of wanted to pick it up myself. So for Christmas he bought me like this tiny little pocket bike. Sort of fell in love with it really, like any other kid falls in love with any other sport. Internally, there's quite a lot of motivation that you need to have, especially with racing bikes. It can be a bit of a struggle to find that motivation sometimes, especially when you don't have a good race weekend or you have a pretty bad race. But for me, it's the internal motivation is just improving and getting better, basically just becoming a better version of myself as a rider, more or less. And the more I can do that, the happier I'll be at a race weekend, and then better results I get, which turns into wins and podiums. The most important thing is surrounding yourself with the right people. It's something that sometimes I don't think many people touch on. Last year, during the middle of the season, when I was competing in the British Talent Cup, I had a bit of a dip in mid-season performance, and I think without the people around me to help and support me, pick me up out of the bad situation where I went through just a couple of runs of bad results, it was so important for me. I didn't really know it at the time, but for them to just carry on. Racing for me is become part of my life. It's just something that's not necessarily just a hobby or anything anymore. It's something that I'd love to carry on to do when I'm older.
So we start with a standard R7, remove all the road gear that we don't use, get some weight off the bike. Everyone in the championship has to use the same electronics. Engine work, and we work very closely with Scott Smart and Yamaha Europe, trying to build a reliable and cost-effective way of doing the job. So we've fitted different pistons to the engine, different camshaft and valve springs. Put an aquapobic exhaust on. We have to modify the airbox slightly, just to get a bit more air in it. And then onto the chassis, where we put different yokes, linkage, Öhlins rear shock, Öhlins fork internals and steering damper. We're allowed to change the brakes, only the discs though, so we put Brembo discs on. Standard calipers and master cylinder are good as standard. Didn't need to do anything there apart from put the Hell brake lines on. Do race bodywork, handlebars, rear sets. We're obviously with different gearing for different circuits.
It's just been a positive start to the year. Overall, I'm really happy with the bike, really happy with myself, riding well. And obviously Steve gave me the opportunity to ride the R7, and I knew I had to make it count. Me and my dad, we've been through it all together from first starting as a kid. Behind the scenes, back at home, obviously we're just a regular family, putting a lot into it, blood, sweat, tears. Dad works away, I work, and you know, it's just rewarding. Alton was super positive. We needed that. You know, we were all buzzing after that podium for race 2, and my biggest challenge has been some previous injuries in the past. I know when you put in all the work and then you're not getting the results and then you have to sit out injured, it's really straining mentally, you know, and you've got to keep that mindset of I will be back, and you've got to keep the confidence high, and yeah, just nice to reward myself.
Goal at the start of the season was just to be really consistent, pick the odd win up when I can, and finish in the top 5 as often as possible. And every race I've been involved in, I've finished in the top 5, so that's one thing up to yet. Obviously one unfortunate thing that happened at Alton Park set us back a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy with our road in testing and the first 2 meetings. I was very privileged in testing to have 2 bikes to try with various different parts to build a package. But yeah, I'm happy with my bike. The new bits that I've got on my bike are a big step. For example, like Alton Park, one of the races was 5 seconds quicker than last year. Navarra, I was a bit gutted because all through the week I was really fast. It was just when the temperature went up on Sunday, it kind of caught us out. I was probably the only one in the top 5 using the SC2 front, and I didn't want to take any mad risks, so we didn't change anything. We just rode the best I could. Unfortunately, I couldn't win a race where I felt like I had the speed to. You know how it is on a Sunday. I didn't want to try anything and finish 8th when I knew I could finish 3rd with what I had. So yeah, if it goes skyrocketing temperature at any track from now on, we know what to do, and I won't be finishing 3rd hopefully. This year I feel like I can do really well at all the tracks. The team have done a great job with the punch of the bike. It's definitely a little bit faster than last year, which is, I don't think we're going to be in a position to pass anybody, but I don't think we're going to lose the positions like we did last year. So yeah, BSB is very hard, especially for people that have jumped off a bike onto another bike. So I think I've got a big advantage on riding my bike, the same for the last 3 years. I know the suspension's been a little bit different, but yeah, this is my 2nd year on that suspension as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we can do good things.
To get my first dry win and then turn it up with a double was unexpected, but definitely welcome. It was a great way to start, a dream way to start, and then to back it up with a podium at Alton Park. I've got a lot of good points, you know, although the points are quite small at the start of the year. We started off really well, and for me that then set me into Alton Park with no pressure, you know, because it was a bit of a bogey track to start with. We've turned that round now, but going into your bogey track, you don't want to be already on the back foot, because we had a bit of trouble at Alton Park, but it didn't put me under any pressure because we was already ahead, so it allows for that. So it just give me more of a relaxed sort of focus going into Alton Park. Just moving everything over to sort of the 24 spec is what we called it, you know. We had different subframe and stuff like that, different tank, and for me, I've benefited from that, and also we've improved the electronics, and also just working with the same group of people for 2 years running, you know, going into this 2nd year with data at every track. We're turning up at the track with a very good base setting, and then just trying to improve things slightly for this year. So we've just found that we've made a little step everywhere, which has helped us a lot. It's never going to be a simple year, but I think if we can beat Kyle and Glenn, then we're going to be very close to the top.
Yes, obviously round 1 being in Spain, Navarra, was really good. Successful first round for me and McCams Racing. Managed to secure pole position in the Super Pole, and then left the weekend with a 2nd and 3rd. So we started the year very strong. Round 2, I was a bit, let's say, nervous going into Alton, just because every time I've been there, every year I've been there, it's been a real difficult track for me. I know this year's a bit different now. I'm with a top class team. Again, just through the 2 days testing we had prior to the race weekend, we worked really hard. Gave me a bike which was mega. The results that I came away with, I was over the moon with. If you had told me going into the weekend that we was going to come away with those results, I would have bit your hand off. I'm loving riding the Yamaha R1. It was a bike that I've wanted to jump on for the last sort of few years, just because of being out on track with the riders riding it in the past. I knew that it would suit my style. My biggest problem was releasing the brake too early and getting on the throttle too early in the middle of the corner, which was then running the bike wide, whereas the Yam seems to love it. The sooner I can get off that brake and on the throttle, the bike turns better. So it's just a match made in heaven, really.